Hey, what are you doing here? Just kidding. I know what you're doing here. Vlogging is weird. I gotta have to talk to you as if like an old friend of mine just walked into the room, but if that friend couldn't say anything, because you guys may watch me and be like, oh yeah, I know Drew. I know his jokes. I know his personality and all that, but I am literally talking to like a lens behind a little bit of glass. It's very bizarre on my end. It may feel natural on your end if I'm doing my job right, but on this end, it's just freaking weird. But anyway, I thought I would give everybody the little office tour. I guess this is the official one because I try to do tours of either the house or the office when I think they're in their best condition, when they're in their best shape. And while I still have a little bit more to do, I'm gonna add some movie posters to this wall because I got a lot of videos I want to make for teiufs movie reviews, and I want a more interesting background than just whatever I happen to put on the TV here. But the general layout of the office is done. I think you can fill in the gap with movie posters here. You'll see that on movie reviews later if you want to watch it, but I thought I'd give everybody the updated office tour now that I've moved, and probably not make that big a deal out of it because honestly, while this room is like slightly bigger, probably by like 10 square feet, just a little bit bigger than my last office, it probably doesn't show on camera. In fact, I know it doesn't show on camera because I've been filming in here for a while, and it may just feel like a slightly different organized office than before, but I mixed it up a little bit, so I'll give you guys the rundown. So over here, of course, we have my desk, which made its way over pretty similar to the setup I had before. iMac Pro with the Apple Cinema display on one side, the Predator monitor on the other side, my favorite one for the thin bezels and great refresh rate. And I knew I wanted to mix it up a little bit with the background this time moving around. And I found it kind of generic at the last office to have like one wall with soundproofing and one wall with, you know, the Apple boxes. At first when I did it, you know, I was so focused on moving out of the big office, which there was so much crap in there we had to get rid of or sell. So I was very preoccupied. I didn't really have much like creative time to make a really intricate background, and I thought I was being creative, but then as I watched more YouTube channels and I discovered more creators, I realized that doing like one wall of soundproofing and the other wall of not so much soundproofing was actually pretty common and generic. So I thought, what makes my background like inherently teilosive? What's something that really screams teilosive tech for the background of my videos? And that's where I got the idea for the Apple boxes being on both sides of the wall and kind of showing off a lot more of the collection than before, where I only could show, you know, like 12, 16 boxes at once. This is a little bit more. This is probably, you know, also 12 to 16, but it covers up more of the background instead of just one side of the wall being soundproofing. And I know people like kind of the checkered design of the 2X office before, so I thought this was like a happy medium of combining the different designs we've seen in the past. And someday, if we move up again to an even larger office, then we can maybe even make room for the old legacy Mac computers, which I still have. They're in storage. They're not in this room right now, but I still have access to them. So someday they may make it into the background of tech videos again. But at the end of the day, what I always try to tell my fans and the people who watch my channel is that you really should be watching for me and what I'm saying. If you can't watch my videos because of the background, then you probably shouldn't be, because that's not what I really want to be remembered for. It's just my insanely good backgrounds and how creative they were, because it's a background. It's just kind of there to fill up pixels in space. But what's slightly off camera over here is, of course, the play button. Very proud of that. And I also have Sting, which was a birthday gift from my father when I graduated high school. This is like legit. It's like made of metal. This is my weapon of choice if we were to get attacked in the household. But it is metal though, you know, like this is as real as Apple Card metal. But of course I keep it right there. Only need that when intruders show up. And then over here we have the 4K TV setup. This isn't like the best TV in the world, but it works for what I need. And down here I may not have the best cable management in the back, but you don't need to see that. So from this angle now, we got the Xbox One X, which I've only used a couple of times since I've moved here. The stereo HomePod, so I AirPlay music to this basically every single morning, and they sound excellent. And of course the Mac Mini, which is really great for putting like screensavers on the TV as well. But once we get back into doing the Teilosive Talks podcast, we'll be needing that Mac Mini. And I've also decided that if I want to keep doing gaming streams on the Xbox One X, I'll probably live stream them from the Mac Mini instead of the iMac Pro. So this is still going to be kind of a live streaming device primarily, but for now I'm preoccupied with a lot of different projects, so I haven't got into that yet, but the setup is there. This is the part of the room I'm not done working on, but I figured I'd just throw it in the vlog so you can see what it's like right now. But believe it or not, there is some organization to this between like Apple box, case collection, iPad collection, as well as like the equipment, like external hard drives, USB charger expansion, and like the Blackmagic for extra camera equipment and stuff like that. And then there's 3 bags up here, which are literally just cables. This is like power and data. This is like audio, and this is like video. That's an old childhood picture of me and my best friend Ross. He's in the Air Force right now. We had him on the Talks podcast a while back. And I also even kept my Apple Card thing, because this actually has like circuitry on the inside of it, and it's pretty fancy. So it's like a Apple foldable package, so I kept that. There's like the giant stack of movie posters that are eventually going to be hung up over there for my movie review background. We of course have my much larger window letting lots of natural light in from outside. Got our little shed out there as well for storage, and the Tesla flag, which is covering up the kind of closet entryway. There's lots of storage and mostly just soundproofing tiles back there, and lots of like cables and old tech that I don't need right now. But yeah, the Tesla flag is still hanging high right next to all the Apple boxes. And if you want to see some terrible cable management, because it wouldn't be an office tour without Drew's terrible cable management, then we just have to take a look underneath my desk and you will quickly see how crazy it gets. But because the coax cable to the house is coming in right there, I actually get a direct Ethernet line to my iMac Pro, which is kind of nice. So internet download upload speed is a lot more stable because it's not a Wi-Fi connection, it's a direct Ethernet connection. And for those of you who didn't know, the internet at this place is the exact same as the one we had before. It's actually pretty simple to get the service transferred over. Usually Xfinity is a big pain in the butt, but we're on a contract with them and we just called them and said, hey, we're moving, and they just asked for the scheduled date and I could do it all from the app. Guy showed up, he was a little late, but only took him about an hour to get it all installed and everything, and boom, we got our gigabit internet again. Sadly, only gigabit down. I wish we could get a gigabit upload, but doesn't seem very possible around here. So anywho, that pretty much summarizes most of the office. You know, there's not much to it, but yeah, it's about the same amount of space I'm used to working in, and thought I'd mix things up a little bit with kind of the triangular layout between desk being here, futon being there, TV being there. It's laid out a little differently, but I actually prefer this office a lot more to my last one, primarily because of the carpet flooring, which allows for much better sound, so I can go back to using my Zoom microphone, which I love using. The shotgun on it sounds really, really good. I know some people may not like it, and you know what I've noticed over the years? No matter what environment I'm recording in, no matter what microphone I use, someone likes it and someone doesn't. I can't make everybody happy, so at least I try to just make myself happy, and then I go from there. Back at the last rental we had, the floors were made of tile, which made it a lot more dangerous for like phones and tablets and stuff that didn't have cases on them. So I was worried of like sitting in my chair and having the phone fall out and fall on the floor, which has happened actually. I did do that with this very phone, but luckily it didn't shatter or scratch or anything. There's no marks, but it still made me nervous, whereas a phone dropping on carpet doesn't bother me at all. Also, there's far less echo thanks to the carpet flooring. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way everything turned out. I want to thank everyone who complimented the new set. It's been very positive feedback. I got lots of people pinging me and letting me know that they like the new look, which is always good to hear. I want you to know that that is very much appreciated. I'm sorry that there was one tiny soundproofing tile that was slightly off. Felt like the first tech video I did back, that was the only thing anyone could notice. But I hope you guys can understand, like, I had moved literally everything at our rental, thanks to some help from our family members, over to this house within like 2 days. And that was like the first 2 days we got back from our giant trip to the Philippines. So yeah, we were kind of rushed. I might have been cutting a few corners, and while I was able to film tech videos, the rest of the place was kind of a giant dump of just wires and tech. And it wasn't until a couple weeks later that I actually got everything organized and somewhat put away. I know there's still some stuff I need to work on, but the stuff I need to work on is parts of the studio and parts of the office that no one's gonna see, except now you have seen them because I showed them to you. But just as a little update for now being a homeowner for a couple more weeks, it's been very, very nice. We like the new neighborhood. It's been a lot more private. We love having so much space between us and our neighbors, unlike the last house, which was a good first house. We had a good deal on the rent and everything, but it was very, very, very close to the neighbors, and obviously we were paying rent, which isn't going to come back to us in any way, where, you know, that's different when you're a homeowner and we're paying off the house now, which is amazing. amazing. It feels great, and we're still working on the rest of the house, putting things away. We want to make sure everything's fairly tidy and clean, and obviously, yes, in time we will do a house tour. But it's coming along great, and we're very much comfortable with the new house, and I'm very happy we moved. Hopefully we're not going to be moving for a while now, though. We got kind of sick of moving. Felt like we moved twice this year, because studio-wise we did, but yeah, it was like a good stretch there with like every 4 months we moved again. So we're gonna try to settle down here at least for a couple more years. Probably expect us to be out of here in another 2 to 3 years, depending on how stuff goes. But anywho, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate you, and I hope you all have an excellent day. Take care.